And I am back like I never left. What's up, people? I got the ball again today, just in case somebody pulls up on me. I don't know. I'm sorry. So the last time we spoke, I was talking about the last few days, or the last few months of me being in Texas before I made my move. And I was talking about my friendship with Quinn, and I still haven't talked to her about using her real name on here, so that's why I'm still calling her Quinn. But I was talking about kind of my transition, and I mentioned how I'm moving into the chapter now where I moved to Arizona, and there were some new things that took place. So here's the thing. Before I moved, I decided to visit out here so that I could get a lay of the land. You know what I mean? Obviously, look for a place to live, look for a city to live, all the important things that go along with moving to a new place, new city, 14 hours from your last known location. So I came out here, and this was so me and Quinn met in January of that year. This is in like October. So, 10 months later. So I've been doing all kinds of growing and stuff. It's been great. I'm feeling better in a lot of different ways. So I'm just like, yeah, okay, cool. So, part of the excitement about going to a new place is, well, maybe I'll see, okay. Things always kind of come back to relationships with me, just because I think that that's one of those things in life that, it's going to be important or is important. But also because of the simple fact that you interact with another person in a way that has depth and meaning and importance, and therefore it is a breeding ground for evolution. Given that you two are both in an evolved state and can see from a different perspective, and you're looking for, how can I be better, right? What is this person reflecting, and I'm seeing me more clearly. So anyway. So I come to Arizona, I'm excited, and I meet this woman. And I was very excited because, again, it's just like you feel, for me, being seen is important. And I don't need to be, not like famous, not like, oh, all attention on me. Just, I want somebody to see me, but I want them to also peer deeper, right? Pull back the layer, pull up my rib cage and see deep inside of there, the heart, then go a little bit deeper, then the soul, the spirit, I want somebody to see me at a deeper level. So even just getting this surface level kind of version of that feels better to me, because I've often felt ignored in life. So those kind of things really are impactful for me when I get that kind of attention. So I was feeling better and everything, and so this was good. So it was cool because we met, and I was out here looking for places, and I was kind of talking to her while I was here for that. I think I stayed here for like a week. Yeah, it was like 5 days or 7 days, just kind of looking around and everything. And we went on a couple of dates, and it was cool. So I was excited about getting back out here and potentially building something, right? So after that, and around the time after I left, I just noticed that it just kind of fizzled. Like when we would chat, she just seemed disinterested. And I was just like, man, we always wonder, right? We always wonder. But I was just like, okay, whatever. That's dating, right? It's dating life. It can be difficult like that. So, fast forward, I come back home, I find a place, and I go back to Texas for a little bit while I'm making the final arrangements or whatever. And I meet somebody else. And she is super cool person, but she had put on her, I'm still using online dating at this point, because obviously I haven't really met anybody in person. But when we talked briefly, she mentioned how she wasn't looking for, a relationship, or wasn't looking. And I was just like, and I started to question, why do I keep attracting these women who don't actually want me, but I'm attracting them? You know, what is it about me that, and these are the questions that I ask because I'm looking at her, I'm like, she's beautiful. And she likes some of the things that I like, and we talk, and we would talk, you know, a lot during the time that we were in that phase. And but she told me pretty early on that she wasn't looking for anything, but I was excited and I was persisting. And you know, even from just a friendly place, but I was still hoping that given enough time, things will change, right? They didn't. Spoiler alert, but they didn't. But I was wondering, I was like, okay, what is it? Why do I keep attracting these women who aren't actually looking for a relationship? So me and let's say, I don't want to use her real name. We'll call her so Miss Banks. I'll go with Miss Banks. So me and Miss Banks, we would talk, and everything was cool, and it seemed like, you know, given enough time, things might switch up, right? Things might they might go the way that I kind of want them to go, right? And I was getting excited and stuff, and you know, nothing wrong with excitement, but it's when you get the sign. And I know I said in my last video or the video before that, life is going to give you the signs and symbols, right? And you just have to be keen enough and honest enough with yourself to see them and to accept that this is what it is. She told me straight up that she wasn't looking. Now, why an attractive, beautiful person is hitting me up and, you know, we're talking about stuff and it seems reciprocal and it's enjoying. Why these people keep talking to me if you're not interested? Why was that happening? So after I moved here, there was a psychic fair. When was it? It was around the end of the month, or it was the following month in December. I think it was early December. Whoops. I think it was early December. So I go to the psychic fair, and by this time, me and Miss Banks had already started to kind of fizzle. It was, I could feel it because we went on a date just at the park or whatever, and like, I don't know. Well, actually, I do know, but I'm not gonna say it on here. But I knew that it wasn't going to. When we met, I knew that it wasn't going to go. It wasn't going to continue. So I go to the psychic fair, and I remember just like telling her about the stuff and kind of what happened, and I was excited. And her response was just very neutral. It's very neutral. Just wasn't just very neutral, and I was just like. So, and that was it. That was the last time we talked, and haven't talked since. And I was just like, wow, but I just didn't understand why I kept attracting women, and the energy, the desire wasn't reciprocal. Like, why am I still putting that out? And here's the reason. Okay, are you listening? Although I still wanted it, I still was not ready. And because when I started to get close to having a relationship, I would feel myself pull back, my energy. I would feel myself pull back. Or I would get nervous, or not a good word. I would get anxious about, oh my gosh, if I'm in a relationship, this, and this are going to be the expectations now. And I just thinking about this in my head, I was creating it, but I was feeling this, oh goodness. And the thing was, I wasn't ready yet, because I wasn't all the way healed with the things that I had gone through that experience. And the crazy part is, at the time, I'm thinking I wasn't really sure what the whole thing was, but it was maybe a month later, maybe 2 months later, where I had the realization. But before that happened, I realized that I still wasn't healed all the way with the thing with Sunshine just yet. Like, I was good, emotionally and everything, but when I say I hadn't forgiving myself. And it was a realization that I had made after, I think I went to see a movie, and I had this realization, because I went to go see the Spider-Man movie, and now this was last year, so if you haven't seen it by now, you don't want to. But at the end of the movie, like, everybody forgot who he was, and his girlfriend and his best friend forgot who he was, and like, it was crazy. It was like, man, that sucks. And I remember watching the movie. Now, this wasn't a scary movie. It wasn't a sad movie. This one part, it just resonated with me so deeply that I was crying, like, afterwards, like, or just I could feel it. Like, my energy was up here and it just plummeted into the ground. And because what he was experiencing, or what he was about to experience, resonated with me, because it's like wanting someone that you love that you can't have. Now obviously, it's not that I didn't know that, not that I was forgotten or anything like that, but for him, it was just like wanting somebody that you can't have, and it's just like, oh, because she doesn't remember you, like all the memories and stuff, she doesn't remember you. So I was just like, man, that tore me up. So I knew that there was something still in there that still needed to, be dealt with, and it was forgiveness of myself. And here's what I did. I took my phone and I put on the voice recorder app thing. If you have an iPhone, I'm sure the Samsung phones have one too. I'm sure every phone has one nowadays. But I took that and I spoke into it. Did it at night. I think I lit a candle and I sat on the wall, and apologizing to me, talking to me. I'm apologizing for everything that I did that, ruined my life, that hurt me at such a deep level. And I spoke into this recorder and I let everything out, because I'm just like, there's something, still going on. I let it all out. And then I stopped it and I sat for a moment, and then I played it back. And I played it back with my eyes closed, and I just listened, and I just felt all my feelings. And what's funny about this is, when I was recording it, it wasn't nearly as emotional at all compared to when I listened to it back. It was like I was talking to a deeper part of me. My conscious me was talking to a deeper part of me where the hurt was. And I'm going through listening to it, and I'm just streaming tears, because there was so much emotional turmoil, and just from that whole situation, and it really, really tore me down. So I was, I never forgave myself for putting myself in that situation. And this is the part that people really need to understand, because forgiveness is for the forgiver, right? Not the forgivee. Now, if it's, for yourself, the dynamics a little bit, it's all you, but people forgive you for them. Like, if you do something to me, you hurt me, I forgive you because I want to let go of the burning coal. Not because by me saying it that I can absolve you of and we're all good now. Like, I'm doing it because I want to let go of the pain now, right? So forgiving yourself is paramount to your healing, and you need to actually forgive yourself. And for me, this exercise, I just made it up, but it was so powerful, because the forgiving myself let out, crying is an emotional detox. It let out all the stuff that I've been holding in at a level that I wasn't consciously aware of. So I'm listening to it back and I'm bawling my eyes out listening to it. I just said it, literally just a minute ago. I just said it, and I'm listening to it again, bawling my eyes out. So then I respond to me, that part of me, I respond, and I can barely get the words out. Like I'm crying, and voice all getting choked up and everything. And it was such a powerful experience, because I was letting go of something that I had been holding on to for a couple of years at this point, and it released me. It was another thing in a long line of necessary steps to get me to a point where I could now feel good about being me. I can let go of the things that have been ailing me. So it was a really powerful process, and I think because of the nature of kind of where I'm at in my life now, living alone and everything now I can feel comfortable expressing myself. It's basically a safe space. This is my home is my sacred space. It's a safe space, and I can do it, and I can talk as loud as I need to. I can express without anybody hearing me. I feel I got privacy, and I can just, now that's not a prerequisite. It's all in your mind, like, not wanting to be embarrassed about stuff or hearing other people hearing you. But for me, it's kind of what I needed. I needed that, the right cocktail of being alone, silence, expressing myself and all these things. So it was a really, really extremely powerful moment, and it was one of those last blocks that needed to be placed to begin getting to the next point, which continues the story. So if you have something like that, if you're struggling with something that you've been holding on to, or maybe a situation that happened and maybe you are actually responsible. I don't mean you internalize it because you think, but like maybe you actually are more responsible. Forgiveness of yourself is really good, and I highly recommend the voice recorder exercise. Highly recommend that. And I think that you'll see just how powerful it is for listening to your own voice addressing you about something that you did to let some things go. Very powerful. So that's going to be it for this one. There is more, because there's another part to this this story. There's another part where I met some people, but I'm going to talk about that next week. Hey, come on, don't rush. I'm going to be talking about that soon. We're going to get to it. And it's powerful. It's good stuff, right? It's good stuff. So that's going to be it. Thank you for joining me. I'm Johnny Jupiter, and there is no outro.